All right. Anyways, yeah. So Lucasfilm had their Star Wars celebration. They used the opportunity to give us a bunch of Star Wars news. They did also, I think, mention. They did talk about um, Indiana Jones, which come out of Indiana Jones 5, because they do work on that as well. But this was mostly just for Star Wars, so we're gonna focus on. And I do have an article here. We'll go ahead and pull this up. This is from IGN. All right, so we have this is everything that was announced at the showcase here, the studio, whatever, from the Lucasfilm. So I'll scroll down a little bit. So first of all, they announced 3 new movies coming out. I did hear something like this at work. A coworker saw this and told me, although the way he put it was that we're getting a whole new trilogy. That was not the case. But these are just going to be just different movies set in different time periods for Star Wars. 3 movies, yes, and that is just there is more coming. That we'll discuss that. There was a lot that was said, but like us here on the internet only got like most of the information. There's some information that they're withholding, and only if you were at the event, which was held in London. So if you're at the event, you could get all this stuff we're about to talk about, plus some other things. There were some like teaser trailers and stuff that they were showing that like you had to be there to see it. They did not put it online. So I mean, I think there's some there's people that like kind of filmed it with their cameras real quick and throw it online, but yeah. Anyway, so 3 movies are coming out. One is gonna be directed by James Mangold. He's the director of Logan. He did Logan, which Logan was a great movie. I mean, honestly, in the last decade, yeah, for sure, like with the TV shows and stuff, and then the movies too, which is really rough, to be honest. Those Disney movies have been rough. So hopefully now that they've been on a good track for the most part with the show. So hopefully now that they understand how to make a good Star Wars, that they know can take what they've learned and apply it to the movies. Especially now with Dave Filoni now way more in charge than what he used to be, because Dave Filoni like knows Star Wars. He is the Star Wars guy. That's why he's been in charge of The Mandalorian. He's been basically in charge of all the TV shows, going all the way back to when they started doing what was it? When they started doing Clone Wars TV show. He was put in charge of that project, and now he's been in charge of everything. So right underneath Kathleen Kennedy, obviously, but. Anyways, so yeah, so 3 live action. So the first one's gonna be James Mangold. He was director of Logan and also the upcoming Indiana Jones movie. And his movie is gonna focus on the Dawn of the Jedi. This is even before the Old Republic. Like, this is how far back we're going. So we're in a new canon for Disney. I don't know if you guys are aware of that or not. There was an old canon where like the farthest back we've ever gone was like 4,000 years. That was during the Knights of the Old Republic game. That was like 4,000 years before Episode 1. After Disney bought Star Wars, that game basically became non-canon. It's called Legends, along with a bunch of other books and other things that came out that before Disney bought everything. There's most of the Star Wars content that we got leading up to Disney got canned, most of it, excluding the movies and whatnot. So basically when the Jedi got found, pretty much. I don't know, because we did get like an original, like there wasn't a comic, I believe, or a book that explained like the beginnings of the Jedi, and like how like the lightsabers used to be like, they used to not have its own power source, kind of like it is now, where you just turn it on, it just works. They used to be like battery operated, like they had like a lightsaber had like a wire or whatever that hooked up to like a backpack, like a battery pack or whatever, like on their back or whatever. So I don't know if we'll get something like that. There's a I think if I remember right, there was some sort of race of aliens that helped found the Jedi. Basically that made them force sensitive or something like that. I don't remember what that was all about. And so they may take stuff from Legends and make their own story, or they might just come up with a new explanation of where the Jedi. We don't know. As all we know is that we're finally gonna get, we are gonna get a story set in that time period within the new canon. So, so that's gonna be one of them. This is a picture of all the directors here who are gonna be, without coming with Dave Filoni right there. There's the man. There he is. Let's see if we can get a bigger shot of this. There he is. And then this is James Mangold right here, and then this is the other director of what's her name again? Charmin Obaid-Chinoy. I'm butchering that name. Obaid-Chinoy. Obaid-Chinoy. I think that's what I pronounce it. I'm butchering the name. I apologize. So yeah, so James Campbell is doing the Dawn of the Jedi movie. We don't know the name of it yet. This is what I'm calling it for now. Dave Filoni's movie is going to focus on the New Republic, and saying that this is going to be an integral part of the Star Wars. Sorry, this is going to be what was it? So he's going to be doing a movie that's I think I read another article that's going to tie in all the shows that we've been getting recently. I mean, probably excluding Andor, probably excluding Andor, but Mandalorian, the upcoming Ahsoka show, which we'll get into in a little bit, Book of Boba Fett, like it's gonna be in the New Republic, so it's like anything that takes place after Episode 6, all the shows that take place after Episode 6, we're gonna get wrapped up. Of course, there's some shows that take place before Episode 6 that kind of start up, like they kind of set up for the shows that take place after Episode 6. So, like there'll be like Rebels and Clone Wars and stuff. So, and also the one that we're watching, Bad Batch. So, we'll probably have some of that as well in there. But pretty much everything that we've been watching live action wise is gonna get wrapped up in this one movie that Dave Filoni is writing. I think that's what they're going for. We'll see though. This is probably still a few years out from seeing that movie, as well as the other movie I mentioned. And then the one that Charmin is gonna be directing, right here in the in the article here. This is gonna be after the events of Rise of Skywalker, so episode 9. And it's gonna feature Rey. It's gonna raise Daisy. Oh my god, I can't talk tonight. Daisy Ridley is coming back as Rey, and she's gonna be building her new Jedi Order. So this is something that a lot of people thinking were gonna happen. So this is basically confirmation that yes, she does build a new Jedi Order, and that movie's gonna focus on that. So she's basically doing what Luke does. So what Luke was trying to do after Episode 6 and fails. So and it seems like that we're not getting any, at least what it feels like is that we're not getting like a reset on Episode 7 or anything. We're not getting like, they're not gonna basically erase it and start over again with that, because that's what some people were hoping, is that like, oh, maybe with these new shows we'll see a setup for like what actually happens after, Episode 6, and we won't get Rey and everything. We'll get the story that we want, and this is confirmation that we're probably not doing. That's probably not going to happen. As much as I would prefer that we get new Episode 7 and it follows more like what the books had written originally, because there was a bunch of books that take place after Episode 7, and we get things like what was Heir to the Empire. We get there was like a 9-book series I started reading, I never finished it. What was that book? I can forget what it is, like the New Order or something like that. There was a ton of books, like when you get characters, we see Luke Skywalker become a Jedi Master and start his own temple. We also get some games that take place in that time, like there's the Jedi games with Kyle Katarn, and we see, what was it? Yeah, he built his temple. Originally he built his temple on Yavin 4, which was the planet where the rebel base was in episode 4. So he goes back to that planet, and that's where he builds the temple in the original canon. And the new canon now, he just does it on some other planet. I forgot what planet it was, but what was it? We got Mara Jade, we got Leia and Han had 3 kids, not just 1 kid. Luke even marries Mara Jade, and he has a kid. And we get, there's a bunch of stories that take place after, and we get these cool characters that we're not going to see ever because of the new canon, so sadly. Oh, here's Daisy Ridley. She's pretty tall. So apparently in that movie too is gonna take, yeah, it's set in place 15 years after episode 9, which is interesting. That's an interesting date for that to be set on. So I'm assuming maybe she's already, well, she's gonna will attempt to rebuild the Jedi Order. That's a Jedi Master. I don't know why she waits 15 years to do that. You would think it would be like right. I don't think it would be like more closer, maybe 5 years or maybe 3 years or something. Not 15 years. It's weird. So I hope that they have some sort of explanation as to why. What was she doing that 15 years? Like why was she taking so long to finally be like, you know what, let's go ahead and build a Jedi Order. Let's go ahead and do that. But she seems excited. She said, my heart's pounding. I'm very thrilled to be continuing this journey. So that's what she said. You know, I remember in an interview saying that she had a really bad time filming the other Star Wars movies, especially the last one. So it's interesting that she's kind of turned around and like, oh, I'm very thrilled, unless she's just kind of saying that. I don't know, but so this was the big one. This was the big one. This is so Ahsoka, which we already know was coming. We finally get a trailer for this. And this is gonna be in August, which is nice, right here in August of this year. The other movies don't have release dates. They just basically announce it's coming. That's it. So just to kind of hype it up that way. Oh, we're getting more movies again, but they don't have like official. We're probably a good maybe 2 to 3 years before we get another movie in theaters. So I wouldn't hold your breath for it. Yeah. Anyways, for Ahsoka. I was really excited about Ahsoka. That's the first thing that I saw. That's the first announcement I saw. I had to like, I was at work when I saw it. I'm like, let me, I'm gonna go step away real quick. I'll like step away, then we'll watch the trailer. I was like that excited about it. I was like, oh my god, finally. We're gonna go ahead and play the trailer, and then we're gonna discuss it. This is like the 3rd or 4th time I've seen this trailer, so this will be good. Oh wait, hold on. Let me. Oops, I always forget. I mute tabs just so I'm not getting random noises and shit. So let me unmute for you guys too.
Something's coming. Something dark. I sense it.
This is a new beginning. For some, war. For others, power.
It's been a while. Things have changed. I started hearing whispers about Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire. prepare for the worst. The Jedi fell a long time ago. There aren't many left.
Perhaps it is time to begin again.
That was it. So really exciting, really exciting stuff. So mic stops, like turn on mic a little bit. Where was I? Okay, so so the trailer is an action-packed one. We saw a return of Star Wars Rebels characters, you know, Hera, Sabine, Chopper. There's another character that might show up too. And I don't want to mention it because it is kind of spoilers for Mandalorian, so I don't want to spoil anything about that. But yeah, there's a character that shows up in, I will say, on that show that's should be showing up in this one. Not sure yet, don't know, can't confirm, but I mean it would make sense if he does. But yeah. And then we did see Grand Moff Morthon as well. So the cool thing about this is that we are getting a seeing Sabine Wren in live action, seeing Ezra. We also saw that Ezra, the hologram of Ezra, which was cool. We saw seeing him in live action. And then Hera Syndulla. Hera is being played by Mary Elizabeth Winston, which was confirmed today, which is awesome news. Which is what this is being. This part right here talks about. Talks about rather. I can't talk. Mary Elizabeth Winston, for you guys who don't know, is she's Ramona Flowers. She's in Scott. You know, she plays Ramona Flowers in Scott Pilgrim. Which, speaking of which, that's another thing I'm excited for, because we're getting an anime version of Scott Pilgrim, and it's gonna have all the original cast that was in the Scott Pilgrim movie is gonna be playing the voices of the characters in the show. So that'd be really cool. Yeah, so we're getting her as Hera. I guess other things she's done like a lot. She was also she was in that Birds of Prey movie with Harley Quinn. She played the Huntress, I think. She's in a lot of things. She's also married to Ewan McGregor, the guy who plays Obi-Wan. They're married in real life. They said that they showed like a little teaser for episode 7 Mandalorian, which is dropping next week. So yeah, it's not, I'm gonna just kind of skip over that. I don't want to spoil anything, and not on my channel. Not in here. Enter Season 2, they said, is coming for August of next year. So we gotta wait a little less than a year and a half for that, which is fine. They were saying that they're about halfway through filming, so they've been working on it. And they're gonna shoot. It's gonna be spending up until August filming it. So they still have what, like, was that 3-4 months, something like that, of filming left. So once they finish in August, then they're gonna spend about a year with post. So, so that tracks. And what we know of Andor Season 2 is that it's going to be, because they were pretty quick to talk about because they already had plans for season 2, like right as like where they announced that season 2 was coming and that they already had the plans and everything for it. That they said that it's gonna show, it's gonna connect season 1 of Andor with Rogue One. So it's going to bridge that. So there's gonna be a lot of, they're saying that like every couple episodes is gonna be like a time skip. So they're gonna like basically just kind of skip ahead to right before Rogue One, and see how, I guess we're gonna see how Cassian and K2SO, I think it's what K2SO meet and become friends. Which is gonna be great. I was looking forward to seeing him in season 1, but he never showed up. We did see the K2 droids, but none of them were the one that we know from Rogue One. So, and this is good right here. I love this. This is like perfect. I just love this. I'll go ahead and read it first. If you know your ending, it really helps. Gilroy says. Gilroy is the guy who's directing Andor. There's a lot of shows I love, and they're trying to figure out where they're going. We know where they're going. We know where we're going. It's kind of like the escape from prison. You know where you're going. That is perfect right there. That is a problem that a lot of shows tend to have. And it makes sense because like a lot of shows don't really get past the first season, so they only ever write the first season, and they make it really good, and then if it gets, but the problem is that like they more prepare for that than they prepare for season 2, season 3, season 4. Like they don't, and so they kind of just like, by the time they get, they pass or whatever, they get greenlit for season 2, season 3, they kind of were like, oh, what am I supposed to do now? I kind of wrote myself into a hole because I prepared myself to not get greenlit for season 2, and then the show keeps going, and it's like a kind of hit or miss. Sometimes it's gonna be great because they're able to figure out how to make the next season, the season after that, really good, or it just dies. And it was like this for Star Wars 7, 8, and 9. They didn't have an end goal. They didn't have a plan. It's from what it seems like, anyways. There's no way they had a plan, and that's why 7, 8, 9 were so hated, with 7 being less hated than 8 and 9. But it was just it was just a mess as a story. Because like, look at Rey. Rey went from like we're gonna like hint towards her being great. Like, she has this big kind of backstory. And then 2 was like, no, she's nobody. She doesn't need to be anybody. And then we go back to, no, she is a somebody. She's a Palpatine. Like, so yeah, it's just like they were letting the directors write, and that was the problem. Like they weren't letting the writers write, they were letting the directors write. And there was 2 different directors for the 3 movies. There was, they had J.J. Abrams for 7 and 9, and then they had Rian Johnson for 8. And so I don't know. It was really bad, and it was not good. And this is proof that this is gonna be good, because this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy knows, like, they need to make it good. Like, they need to know their ending. They need to know where they're going. That's how you write a good movie. That's how you write a good story. You know where it's going. You know this is what I need to focus on. Everything you start, you get your beginning and your end, and you work on the middle. That's how I write my stories. I come up with those 2 things, and then I write how the story, how the characters get from the beginning to the end. That's what I do. Or you can even do this. You can come with your ending first, and then your beginning, and then how those characters get to the end. Simple. And then we got some stuff about the Acolyte. They're saying that it was pitched as a Frozen meets Kill Bill. So the Acolyte is gonna be okay, that's gonna be in 2024. Set during the end of the High Republic era, which is it's gonna be right as it transitions into episode 1, like during that era. And it's gonna be more focused on the Dark Jedi. This is gonna be mostly just regular Jedi, like Sith rather. So it's gonna be focused on the Sith. I believe is what it seems like anyway. It's gonna focus on the Sith, and there's gonna be the very few of them, like they're gonna be like the underdogs, what they're saying. Yeah, from the perspective of the bad guys, yeah. So yeah, and the High Republic 2 they've been doing content for that era. I haven't read anything from that era yet, but it's been mostly just books and comic books and stuff. I think there's been maybe like an animation or something too. I don't know, but we're gonna be getting a TV show during that era. It's just gonna be towards the end, anyways. And that was when it was mostly just Jedi were just living peacefully, because like they mentioned in the prequels, oh, it's pretty much been peaceful for 1,000 years or whatever, like. So it's kind of during that time where they were focused on the points when it wasn't as peaceful, when like they were still kind of some sort of conflict, but there wasn't any major conflict. And then they revealed some stuff for the skeleton crew, but it was only for the people who were there. No release date or anything. So I don't know much about that. But that's gonna be arriving this year, which is interesting that they showed off that for those people, but not for us. It's like it's coming out this year. Like we should be seeing something. The idea probably was that, oh, we're gonna treat the people who are here something special that no one else gets to see. And also, like, we want people just to focus on Ahsoka anyways. We don't want to show we don't want to show anything that's gonna come later. We want to focus on Ahsoka. So it sounds like what's gonna happen is Ahsoka is gonna drop, and then probably right after that is probably Skeleton Crew. They probably start showing off Skeleton Crew right before Ahsoka drops, maybe. But then we're gonna have this is gonna start Jude Law. That's right, I remember that. And it's mostly gonna be new characters, I think. The saying it's gonna be Goonie inspired, so that's interesting. John Watts, David Lowry, the Daniels, Jake Schreier. I think I've heard John Watts. I'm trying to remember what he directed. Bryce Dallas Howard is really good. She's been directing a lot of the Star Wars stuff, so she knows how to direct a Star Wars thing right now. I honestly, like, every single episode of Star Wars I've seen that was directed by Bryce has been great. She's also an actress as well, so she was in the Jurassic World movies, starring in them. She was that I forget her name, but John Watts. I'm trying to remember what he directed. Hold on. Oh, right. Yeah, he does the Spider-Man movies. So those episodes will probably be good. I was like, I remember hearing his name before. Let's see, Mandalorian showrunners on Ahmed Best celebrated return, a big decision. Oh, Ahmed Best, I was just talking about. Ahmed Best is the guy who originally played Jar Jar, and then now he also plays Kelleron Beck. Yeah, Kelleron Beck. That's a Mandalorian thing. I won't talk about it. And then yeah, this is the Indiana Jones. So I guess there's a new trailer. I haven't watched this yet, but I won't. That's another thing for another time. I'm gonna watch that off stream. But yeah, that's been all the Star Wars stuff. I'm really excited. The other thing I wanted to point out looking through all this. So the thing I'm excited about is that this is, I think because you said Heir to the Empire, and I had mentioned that before we watched the trailer. I think this is gonna be the new Heir to the Empire story. One that fits in the current canon, because the old one won't fit anymore. With like that, the old one focused on Luke, and there is Thrawn. See, that's the thing, is like Thrawn was introduced in the Heir to the Empire, and this is taking place about the same time as the Heir to the Empire, because the Heir to the Empire took place about 6 years after the New Republic, and this is about 5 or 6 years after. So it's about the same exact time as the Heir to the Empire originally took place. So I think we're getting it again, but this time, instead of it focused on Luke Skywalker going against Thrawn, and also going against some sort of like dark Jedi that was originally a good Jedi, is now going to be Ahsoka doing it, as well as, you know, including the Rebels characters, and I think we're the other cool thing I want to mention is that their lightsabers. So this lightsaber is really orange, which is really cool. It's really reminiscent of like the original like poster for Star Wars, where Darth Vader is holding his lightsaber, but the lightsaber is like, it's like this reddish orange color, instead of it being like straight red like normally it is for a Sith. So it's interesting that they're Sith, or, you know, they're ex-Jedi, and they're using the red lightsaber, the orange lightsabers. The only like character I've seen with the orange lightsaber was Plo Koon. I think originally he was supposed to have an orange lightsaber. I don't know. I can't remember if he had an orange one in the Clone Wars show. Let's go back and look. I think they may have changed that, but I think originally he was supposed to have an orange one. Yeah, this is the new Dark Jedi, or a Jedi that apparently this guy and his apprentice, which is this female right here. Yeah, these two, both this Balin guy and then whoever she is, are both survivors of Order 66, from what they're saying. And I guess they just turned to the dark side. I don't know. So right here is Sabine Wren from Rebels. Obviously older, and now has like long hair. For those who don't know, Sabine Wren is a Mandalorian. Although she's not wearing her like armor or anything. She usually doesn't. Not even like in the TV show. She did wear her armor, but it wasn't Beskar armor. It was like regular armor. I think it has to do with like her family. Her family doesn't really do the Beskar armor. I think they do like a normal armor or whatever. But she's also not really, I don't know, she kind of shunned herself from the Mandalorians. That's why she's on the side of the Rebels and everything. This is Hera. This is Mary as I want to say O'Hara. Wow, Hera. We also got Chopper in there too. This funny little droid. That yeah, him here. He's a droid with a bit of an attitude. Cool thing is we're gonna see more of Mothma. It's Thrawn right here. We don't see the front of him, but this is supposedly the back of him. And then this is from Mandalorian as well, season 1. We saw Ahsoka fight her, so she's coming back. Yeah, there's more Hera. Hera, after Rebels, becomes part of the rebellion as well, and becomes a captain. Actually, you hear her name gets spoken in Rogue One when they're at the Yavin 4 base. It's just in the background. You just hear someone like make an announcement and say, "Oh, here comes the whatever, blah blah blah." So or Captain Syndulla, please come to the, and that was her. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. This is gonna be really good. And here's Ezra too, right here. That looks like a hologram of the way he. This may have been a hologram of him before he disappeared. He disappears at the end of Rebels, so I won't say why, but yeah, there's gonna be a lot of cool like fighting like Sith and Dark Jedi and shit in this, so it'll be interesting for sure. This is also a robot from you see him briefly in Clone Wars. I think he's also in the comics, but he helps like Jedi younglings with building their first lightsaber. So yeah, he was the Jedi Temple and everything. So it's cool to see him back. So yeah, he's still around. Maybe it'll help with the new Jedi Order if one gets built. I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much all the news, all the details we got. Super looking forward to Ahsoka. That's gonna be in August. I wouldn't mind doing like a watch party in the Discord. If anyone wants to do that, I'll probably put like I think when it gets closer to that drop in, that I'll probably post like a poll if anyone would want to show up weekly on whatever day it's gonna be, Thursday, Wednesday, whatever, one night at like midnight, and do a watch party on the Discord. So I'll keep that in mind, and if something I really want to do, I'll go ahead and post that poll. So definitely look out for that if you're not in the Discord, by the way. Go ahead and post the command for that. There you go. You can join the Discord right there. There's all kinds of cool channels in there. You can also go ahead and suggest for me to play a game or for an art piece for me to do. And if it's something feasible that I can do, I'll go ahead and I'll put it over to the queue, and we'll go ahead and play that. Which we will be hitting up a game in the queue right now.